Hi everybody, and welcome to a JHR Racing commentary on the 2021 iRacing season. Well, iRacing has announced it. Their new 2021 Season 1 is here. One of iRacing's biggest builds yet. The 2021 Season 1 build features a massive slate of content and feature updates that should provide something for everyone. And no kidding, it's got tons of new tracks, new cars. I like the giant super speedway oval they've put in there, and I'm particularly interested in the new aero cushion concept. The idea that there's a bubble of air between the car and the wall. But that's not what we're here to discuss today. Today I'd like to discuss the NASCAR Cup Series Class A setups. I'm extremely frustrated because I've spent the last 6 months learning iRacing and developing setups for a number of tracks in the NASCAR Cup Series. And with this new build, it seems like they've changed the way setups are done, and none of my previous setups are any good. Here's an example of my Atlanta 2020 Season 1 setup, and you can see it's failed inspection. So I don't know why it's failed inspection, so I've been trying to find out, and apparently there's something to do with the spring rate and the packers, and it gets very complicated to do setups. So I've been trying to work out new setups, and it's taking a long time. So I'm kind of disappointed that these were changed because I spent so much time working on them. In this example, there's the 2020 Season 1, and my tire pressures, 27 psi in the front, 55 psi in the rear. And if you look at the 2021 Season 1 tire pressures, well, we've gone up to 31 in the front and down to 45 in the rear. So that's a significant adjustment in tire PSI. But that's not really where the setups are created. You can fool around with tire pressures, but when you go to the chassis adjustments in your garage, there are so many things that you can click up and down that if you're not an expert, and I'm no expert at this by any means, it's very frustrating to try to dial in a good setup for a track. And like I say, I spent a lot of time doing it, and now it's all changed. So here's my failed chassis adjustment from 2020, and I'm going to compare that to my new 2021 chassis adjustment settings, and you'll see that there's some significant differences in the spring deflection and the spring perch offset and the spring rate, and even things like the packer and the stiffness and things like that. So you can have a look and just compare the two values, and you'll see there's quite a bit of difference between them. And this is just showing the left and the right front. We'll put up the left and the right rear in a second because there's even more changes that went on there. But with the number of degrees and clicks of different things, it gets very difficult to dial in a car. So it looks like all of my setups from 2020 are not going to pass inspection in 2021. And as I said before, that's just what I'm finding is frustrating about the new iRacing build, is that I've spent 6 to 8 months working on setups for dozens of tracks in the NASCAR Cup Series, and now I'm finding when I try to run them, even in AI mode, they fail inspection. It's kind of too bad. So here's a comparison of the rears. Again, 2020 on the left, 2021 on the right. and you can see that, you know, things like camber, the toe in, these failed inspection. If you compare the numbers for like the spring rate, well, that seems to be okay, but if you look at the spring rate on the right rear, 1,700 pounds per inch, and you compare that to 2020, only 200. You know, things like bump stiffness, they seem to be the same. Camber, toe in, well, those had to be adjusted. So again, to go through all of these setups and change them is a little bit of a hassle. So I'm not sure the reason why these changes were made, but they were, and it looks like we're all going to have to deal with that in our setups. So thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this to help you with your own setups. I will try to do more setup videos in the future, so you can play around with the kind of settings that I provide with you and see what you can come up with. So thanks again for watching.